We're back for the East region where North Carolina is number 1. You guys know Josh, you know Paul, and this is Brian Partika. Brian, say hi to everyone. It's been a while.
What's up? Hi, Brian.
Brian's our resident actual athlete on the team, him and Robert. So, guys, North Carolina over play in Florida Gulf Coast or Fairleigh Dickinson?
Sorry, Dunk City. Nah.
Yeah, UNC.
Hey, guys, Dunk City's up 23 right now, though.
Yeah, against
Who?
Fairleigh Dickinson.
I'll tell you what. Florida Gulf Coast is definitely not the same team that they were when they were Dunk City. From what I hear, they are more balanced attack. I think the fans of Florida Gulf Coast ought to be proud of this team over the past couple seasons. They've definitely built up their program and their entire school, but UNC will win this game.
UNC.
You want a dagger to put in their back right now? You're coming out throwing fire. It's a nice kid. All right, now we're going to USC Providence. 2 teams that haven't played as good as they wanted to down the stretch. Brian, we'll start off with you since you're ready to throw daggers at people.
Well, I'll say this about USC. They hung with Oregon State and Oregon.
Wait.
times.
Did you just start off with Oregon State?
Yes,
Please
I did.
support this point better.
Well, because they are both in the tournament, and both have higher seeds than USC. That's why I'm saying this. Jordan McLaughlin, he's going to be the leader of this team, and I think they will take down formidable Providence.
All right, well, we disagree early. I got Providence, Chris Dunn, going to lead the way.
That's right, Chris Dunn.
Oh, we're knuckle touching.
Yeah,
this.
I love Chris Dunn.
How about this?
I picked him to be a first-team All-American.
All righty, so I got Chris Dunn, and they advance against a weaker USC team.
I think Chris Dunn carries them against a USC team that's lost 7 of its last 10.
The only thing I don't like about Providence is they are an awful shooting team. And they're playing a USC team that scores 80 points a game.
Right.
Not to mention, they have 5 guys who are
In
double-digit
double digits.
scorers.
I like you. But they also picked Providence, so 2-1. I can do that math in my head, and it's not good. I'm sorry, but I did like your pick though. All right, 5-12 matchup. Indiana Chattanooga. We going with the Mocs, Paul?
Chalk it up again, Indiana over Chattanooga.
Yes,
hey,
Chattanooga.
you guys.
No, Paul, I can't even argue here.
Okay. Good.
I'll tell you
that's
what,
it's
the
come down
5 and the 4 seeds in this tournament are very, very weak. We're talking about Maryland. We're talking about Indiana, Kentucky, all very weak teams this year. Cal, very weak. I think Indiana will win this game because they are the regular season champs of the Big Ten Conference, so they'll win.
Jay Krupp.
It's unanimous.
IU wins by 4. That's right, 4. Just because Yogi Ferrell's going to do something crazy at the end. And Thomas Bryant, I think, is a good rebounder. But I don't believe in Tom Crean. This is not Marquette, and Dwayne Wade's not coming back. All right, Kentucky, Stony Brook. Are we riding with Stony Brook?
No.
Sorry, Stoney.
No.
That's
We're
their
going
first
down.
appearance, and that'll be their only appearance for a while.
R.I.P. We'll have. Did they already raise the white flag, Stony Brook?
Well, according to Tyler Cahill, you guys just made a bold statement. But, yeah, Jamal Murray, I think, is going to drop about 32, and Tyler Ulis is going to go for a triple-double. And, yes, and it's not going to be with rebounds. It's going to be with steals.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm that kind of – I'm bold, guys. I'm bold.
Oh, my God.
Now we go to Notre Dame versus the play-in winner of Michigan in a team that shouldn't be in Tulsa. Who you guys got? Make me excited.
If we assume Michigan gets past Tulsa, because Tulsa shouldn't be here, I'm taking Michigan over Notre Dame. Notre Dame can't finish games. They have turned the ball over way too much in the past few games. I have Michigan beating Notre Dame, who's limping into the tournament.
I got Michigan as well. This is one of my upsets, see? There it is.
I actually also have Michigan in this one. Notre Dame so shaky throughout the season. This is Michigan.
Okay.
Wow.
Even though they lost their best player, I will say, even though they lost Levert earlier this season, I will say that Michigan will win this game. Notre Dame.
Don't
very weak.
forget.
I'm
Don't
going to
forget.
throw it over to Blaine, guys, because he has something to say. Paul, we'll come back to you.
Yes. Paul, Josh, Michigan, yes.
You guys do realize this is Michigan basketball and not Michigan football, right?
Hey. I
Not
think
the same
I
thing.
hear
Not
Jim
that
Harbaugh
great of
starting
a
point guard.
team.
You know, all I hear is chalk, and then once I go against the chalk,
No.
you go right
Because
against
you're
me.
choosing bad teams.
I agree with you. I think
right.
Michigan is
football
going
is
to
not
get the
the-
upset over
not-
Notre
not
Dame.
even close to
Notre Dame
being
cannot
good
finish
yet.
games.
Whoa, hey!
Oh, that's another debate for another day.
What happened?
Mr. Ohio State guy.
No, but I do agree. I think Michigan gets the huge upset here over Notre Dame. As we pointed out, Notre Dame cannot finish games. Notre Dame, they had a 21-11 record. They're at a 5 seed. I think that's too high for them as well. They have wins against teams like Duke, UNC, Louisville, Iowa, but they also lost to teams like Miami, UNC, Pitt. Nothing
Don't
against
Trevor,
you
Pitt.
get me
Trevor,
started.
Indiana.
I'm waiting.
attack
In
him later.
Indiana, and
You
also
can attack him later. We need you guys for a couple
yeah,
of blocks.
and Notre Dame gives up about 70 points a game. I think if Michigan can get past, Tulsa, I think they have a great chance at actually beating Notre Dame.
Watch out for the Irish and Bonzi Colson and Zach August. That's right. I actually think Notre Dame's going to win.
Thank you.
I think they're going to out-rebound Michigan.
I like Zach August way too much, and no one on Michigan nearly enough.
Now we're going to the West Virginia Mountaineers, who Trevor also supports, if you didn't know that. And 14 seed Stephen F. Austin, who we are all very bitter against. So, guys, who do you got?
SF Austin lets me down too much, and I like WVU. I'm taking WVU.
Yeah, I see SF Austin struggling with the down low presence of West
Brian,
Virginia.
you got that smile?
Stephen F. Austin is so good at shooting. 55% field goal percentage. Oh my gosh.
Against Press Virginia.
West
let-
Virginia.
I'll actually, I'll actually
man.
some. I think.
It's hard.
Devil's advocate.
That is hard.
Devin Williams.
Listen to me. If West Virginia makes it past this game, I think they go far in the tournament. This is going to be their toughest matchup they could face to the Elite Eight of the Final Four. I think West Virginia is really good, but Stephen F. Austin plays the same style. They play fast pace, they shoot a bunch of threes, and they also run the press themselves. I think we're going to see a high-scoring game, and if West Virginia gets past this, that's right, Stephen F. Austin is the toughest game they'll face. But we'll put West Virginia. Now we're going to go to Trevor's favorite game and my team, the biggest disappointment most of the time in the tournament. Number 7, Wisconsin versus the number 10, Pitt Panthers. Boys, who we riding with?
I'm not riding Pitt. I've learned my mistake in the past. How long have I been alive? I'm not riding Pitt.
Well, I disagree. I got Pitt. I got Pitt in this one. I think, I'm unbiased here, and I think the Pitt faithful give them a lot too much criticism than they actually
undeserved?
deserve. Yeah, they play in the ACC, all right? They're 9-9 in the ACC this year, 21-11 overall. And they just don't get a lot of credit. And plus, I like James Robinson. I have faith that he can.
You couldn't pick another player to like.
But
you
listen,
couldn't pick a more consistent player.
they're playing Wisconsin. Wisconsin has terrible losses on the year. Wisconsin was way overseeded. They lost to Western Illinois, Marquette, and Milwaukee. How were they a 7 seed?
Before the tournament, before their conference tournament, they won 11 of 13.
They were a little overseeded, in my opinion.
11 of 13. That's a good number.
Milwaukee.
I will say Wisconsin will win this game. Championship experience still is on this team a little bit, and Pitt, no. Not this year.
Now we'll go to the Savages in the Coaches Lounge, who have some input on this game.
Yeah, I know a thing or two about our thing or two when it comes to Pitt basketball.
Yeah, 2009.
Blaine, what?
This is where we're starting. Okay.
Trevor, you can beat him up, and I take back everything I said.
But anyways, I agree with you on this one, Paul. I think Pitt's good for a win in the NCAA tournament. A win. I'm not saying they're making a deep run. I think they can get past Wisconsin because I think they're more athletic. They're a better shooting team than the Pitt teams that we've known in the past. I like Jamel Artis and Michael Young a lot. James Robinson, I'm not that big on. I know his assist to turnover ratio is great, but he shoots way too much and doesn't make nearly enough for any of the guards, honestly, on Pitt's roster. But they are more athletic, and I think they can give Wisconsin enough to get them onto the second round. I can't see anything different.
I agree with Trevor, and I agree with Paul.
Oh, and also one thing in terms of bad losses, I'm sorry, Paul, I have to mention this. Georgetown, they had your Hoyas, who aren't very good.
Lost
Actually
to
beat
Florida Gulf Coast,
another
Dunk
one.
City. Yes.
All right.
Georgetown beat Wisconsin. So
I'm actually
there you
gonna. Listen. I really want Pitt to win. I think Pitt actually will win because neither
will.
team has a bench. But you guys said Wisconsin was gonna win, so I gotta put it down on paper. Xavier or Weber State, boys.
Xavier.
Yeah, Xavier.
You sure?
I got Xavier. They are going to hit a wall at the Sweet 16 like they always do. They're very streaky. They did beat Villanova after getting blown out against Villanova
Brian,
they
I
did
hope
beat
you're
them
ready
the
to
second
defend
time.
that point, because I'm going to come back to you later.
You will.
All right, now we'll go back up to the top, because I'm sure Paul's picking Xavier, and I'm sure Josh is. UNC versus Providence. I think this is a really big game. I think Providence actually can match up with UNC. Josh,
I think they can match up with them until the ending when Roy Williams' team is able to close this one out and advance to the Sweet 16.
I got UNC overpowering Providence. I don't see this being that close of a game as you think it's going to be.
I do.
Okay.
And I think the scoring, the top two of Providence match up well.
Right.
Because Bryce Johnson's a good player for UNC, but he's not the best kind of player. Chris Dunn's going to take Marcus Page to the equation. He's better than both North Carolina guards. But I agree that UNC will win down low. It's going to be Kennedy Meeks. This is his time to shine, the same way Danny Green did last time North Carolina won. It's going to be that guy who was in the shadows all year is going to have to step up. So,
Is this an
You had
overtime
UNC?
game? Is it
I
that
do.
close down the stretch?
6.
6-point game.
Because a 3 throws dead.
Okay.
I'll go with 6. IU versus UK. The battle of the old school.
I got Indiana in this one. I got Yogi Ferrell, who had averages 17 points per game. Indiana, Big Ten champs, will take down this average
First
Kentucky
defensive
team.
player of the year in Tyler Eulis, who also plays point guard.
And let's not. I think Kentucky was underseeded. First of all, I think they should have gotten a higher seed. They just won the SEC championship, and I see hands over there. We'll get to that. But Kentucky, all right, Calipari always finds a way to make some damage in the NCAA tournament, and he's going to get this win.
I'm taking Tyler Eulis and John Calipari and Kentucky. It's not going to be that close.
There is
I'm
only
going 12
two teams
points.
from SEC in this tournament. Kentucky and Texas A&M.
Well, I mean, we have
Big
some
Blue.
pretty excited guys in the coaches' lounge. So, Trevor and Blaine, what do y'all got to say?
Yeah, the damage that Kentucky's going to do is beat Stony Brook and then get bounced by Indiana.
I agree, and honestly, I think Stony Brook's going to give them a tougher time than you guys are giving them credit for. This may be the first time they made the NCAA tournament. Third year in a row they've made their conference championship, though. So it's not like this is the first time these guys have ever seen playoff experience deep into March. But Kentucky underseeded?
No.
Seriously? They probably should have been lower.
Yeah.
Come on.
A 6-5 score.
Oh, you took me the wrong. I meant for them to be the 3 seed over a 4 seed.
So you're saying
That's
they should
their
have
underseeded.
had
Yes, yes.
They should have been like
You
a
still
6.
believe that?
They should have been a 6.
Oh,
okay,
whoa,
okay.
whoa.
Well, let's not go. We are
You're lucky you're over there.
Oh, yeah. Come
Oh,
over here.
please.
Yeah, well, you come over here and
somebody call
sure.
911. Where am I being assaulted after the show? But I actually agree with you guys with the UK. And the only reason is Jamal Murray, I think, is going to score a bunch of points. And I think Yogi Ferrell isn't going to do anything. Listen, Indiana's that team that you can't believe in. And did you guys know, if you don't win get past the first round of your conference tournament as a top 4 or 5 seed, you don't make it to the Sweet 16. So that's why I'm going to go with math and intelligence. But,
In history.
All right, now we're at Michigan versus West Virginia. Which blue team are we going with?
Press Virginia.
I'm going WVU.
Yeah,
Michigan barely made it into the. They were a bubble team. They were stuck in between like a bubble and a rock place. I'm going to go with WVU in this one.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Well, I had Stephen F. Austin beating West Virginia, but if we're going to say this now against Michigan, I had West Virginia or Stephen F. Austin both beating Michigan. So I'm going to go with West Virginia in this one.
You're still a smart guy. I don't have to bump you down the list, but I agree. Michigan just isn't that good. They don't have any bad losses, but when they've lost by a lot. And I think those two balance each other out, and they have no big wins, unless you count Syracuse to be a big win, which it isn't. Wisconsin or Xavier?
Xavier.
I'm taking the 1-3-1 zone in Xavier.
See, I had Pitt over Xavier here. So,
Ooh, Pitt.
yeah.
Remember,
I had
throwback
Pitt going.
to Trevor's Pitt Xavier matchup a few years ago.
I had Pitt going Sweet 16. So, I mean, if it's between those two, I don't even think Wisconsin should be in this conversation. I'll
Paul.
go Xavier, but
Why are you letting me down?
why?
I think no matter who it is.
I think you're letting
I
me
think
down.
Xavier goes down, no matter if it's Pitt, Wisconsin, Stephen F. Austin, Little Sisters of the Poor.
They're not losing
I
to
don't believe in
Wisconsin.
the X factor. I hope Blaine and Trevor agree with me because we're going to them next.
What? Pitt to the Sweet 16?
I mean, I love Pitt. My alma mater. I can't even say that. Come on.
I had Pitt winning a game, but I don't think
what's wrong
they
with
can.
you? You were supposed to believe me
The
here.
glasses are off.
You guys are supposed to ride with
boy,
me.
Trevor.
Believe me.
Hey,
Listen,
Josh,
you
don't
know
think
why
I
don't
didn't
believe
forget
in
about
Xavier?
that
Xavier
remark
hasn't
about
played
Xavier.
very good.
Hey,
Brian,
Brian,
They
Brian, I
beat
do-
Villanova late in the season.
Villanova's
Brian-
not that good either.
What
I
do
don't-
you mean?
Hey, Brian,
Listen,
I
you
do
can
agree
be
with you
overseas
though
at
on the
2.
Stephen F. Austin thing. I do think Stephen F. Austin, I think they'll beat Michigan, or I mean, they can beat Michigan, they can beat West Virginia. So I do give you props there. But I mean, Pitt beating Xavier, Paul, are you serious?
You know,
And Kyle, so you say Michigan's not that good of a team, but they're going to win 2 games in the NCAA tournament.
I actually picked Notre Dame to beat Michigan, but hey, I just wrote down what they told me to. Listen, I go with the odds game.
All right.
What?
All right. Now we're back up to the top. We got 2 of the most prized college basketball teams. UNC versus Kentucky. Who do you guys have?
I have UNC.
this was so tough, but I went with UNC on my gut.
Well, why was it so tough for you? I want to
Because
ask.
these are 2 historic programs, right? And Calipari is a good coach. He has a full healthy team now.
But this isn't a Calipari team.
No.
Calipari's the builder of big men.
Well, I said UNC. I said UNC
Well,
is
I mean,
going to win the game.
it was
Let's
tough.
not forget
it was
that.
tough for you, so I want to ask
It
you
was-
about this. Why this was so tough for
I
you?
feel like it's going to be a close game. I don't see much separation. It's a 1-4 matchup, and I believe it could have been, if Kentucky was seeded higher, a 1-3, But that's just my opinion.
This is definitely the best Sweet 16 game that there will be. I think Indiana would be able to beat UNC. I don't think Kentucky. I have UNC.
Well, why is that? He had a gut feeling, but he said it'd be close. You said you'd ride with IU. Why are we not believing in Tar Heels?
Why am I not believing in the Tar Heels? It's because, well, they play in the ACC, and I think they did really good in the ACC. No lie there, but I just do not feel that they have it in the tournament.
Josh, what was
We
that
don't
look
we
for?
don't believe in them because they play in the ACC.
Didn't they win that?
I think so.
Well,
they had that little.
No, I
trophy.
said that was a plus for them. I said, okay, it's not
But
not
what-
bad.
what-
Don't
what's their
believe in them
weakness?
because
let's not forget
Why-
we
why'd you
both
have
picked
IU?
UNC.
Why do I have IU?
Yeah,
Big Ten champs. That's why I have IU. I think Big Ten is a very strong case, and I think that's better than the SEC.
Okay, but I think you're wrong.
The Big Ten has way more teams in here than the SEC.
Listen, Michigan
Alrighty.
State does a lot, but hey, West Virginia or Xavier? Please say you are going to pick West Virginia.
Xavier.
Press Virginia over Pitt. So
Oh, you pit WVU? That would be fun. But I'm going WVU. I think Xavier's run ends.
I agree with you guys. I said Stephen F. Austin would be the only team that could keep up with West Virginia. Now with Stephen F. Austin out, who is there? Listen, Xavier wants to slow the game down, which is great, but not against West Virginia. I got West Virginia going. So now we got UNC versus Press Virginia. Paul Daniels,
Yes.
who you got, buddy?
I got West Virginia going to the Final Four. They're gonna win this region. They have too much on the line, and Devin Williams. Let's not forget about the factor he can play in a game. This guy had 30 points in the championship game versus Kansas. He can put up numbers.
Brian.
I'll go with West Virginia just because I don't want to go with UNC, and because I
All
wanted
right,
to go with
boys,
SF
let's
Austin.
go.
Oh boy, high fives.
That's right.
now. All right.
I like this pick. Now I guess we're going to go over to those two because I want to hear what Trevor thinks about Press Virginia and what we have.
Okay, so you're saying West Virginia is going to go to the Final Four. Is that what I'm hearing correctly?
Yep,
Yes.
that's it.
Unbelievable.
You said Devin Williams. Who else is going to score besides him?
I mean, they do have 2 players coming off the
Jaysean
bench
Page.
who do
Jaysean
average
Page,
16 points a game who could
Dexter
start for any
Miles.
other Big 12 school.
Off the bench. But, okay, so who on the starting roster is going to score then, besides Devin Williams?
Page.
Paige Williams, maybe? I don't know.
I think North Carolina is a smart enough basketball team to be able to deal with the press, be able to distribute the ball down the court. These are guys who, under Roy Williams, know what they're doing. It's a great scheme, but guess what? Schemes only last so long in the NCAA tournament. They're not going to win you a national championship.
Yeah, I don't see Bob Huggins actually making it this far. Actually, I had Indiana and Xavier against each other in the Elite Eight, and Xavier winning. I think Brian had that too. But, I mean, hey, if I had to choose, I'm picking UNC over West Virginia. I just don't think West Virginia is going to go on.
I mean, I'll give you
that
guys
big of a
credit.
run.
I did have that Elite Eight matchup as well. I have UNC versus West Virginia. I can't imagine West Virginia being in the Final Four with that setup.
Me either. But Kyle, I guess it's on to the Midwest. We got 3 down, 1 to go.
And Blaine's right. It's time to go to the Midwest. Thank you guys for joining me. I think you guys made some valiant picks, but I respect their decisions. But we got West Virginia coming out of the East. Now on to the Midwest.